Oh, the utter arrogance of the American judiciary. Now a judge has decreed, declared, defined, and ex cathedra promulgated that the centuries-old religious ritual known as yoga is not religious. So there you go and stuff, Hindus. We Westerners set you straight, as we know your theology, your religious rituals, better than thou. We previously reported not solely on yoga, but about the specific issue of yoga being pushed into Encinitas, California, taxpayer-funded public schools. I took screenshots of the official Encinitas yoga curriculum, and it includes religious symbols. Also, the school's district website links to an article that encourages changing the names of the various postures so as to water down the religious aspects and thus fool people into believing that it is not a Hindu practice. Link below this video in the info section to the articles, which are titled, What is Yoga? Yoga in Public Schools, Yoga in Public Schools, Tolerance Magazine, and the Encinitas United School District public school yoga curriculum. In short, if it was just about stretching, then it would be called stretching. But then again, they could just call yoga stretching and bring it into taxpayer-funded public schools that way, as per the article noted above, which recommends changing the terms but keeping the practices as is. The bottom line is that discernment is the key. This is because if you were to rightly say that yoga is a Hindu ritual and does not belong in taxpayer-funded public schools, then they can just change the terminology. If you rightly say that it is against taxpayer-funded public school curriculum, they can just change the curriculum. If you rightly say that it goes against the law, they can just change that as well, and we have now reached that point. Note very carefully how Marty Graham broke down the news in Yoga in Public School, Not Same as Teaching Religion, California Judge Rules, UK Reuters, July 2nd, 2013 AD. Judge John Mayer acknowledged that yoga, quote unquote, at its roots is religious, but added that the more modern practice of yoga, despite its origins in Hindu philosophy, is deeply ingrained in secular U.S. society and, quote unquote, is a distinctly American cultural phenomena. So, we begin with the admission that, yes, of course, yoga is, at its roots, religious. But just zoom past that fact and claim that it is acceptable in taxpayer-funded public schools because modern yoga, same religious ritual, but with watered-down terminology, is like hip and cool and stuff, so it must be okay. He also said the Encinitas United School District had developed its own version of yoga that was not religious, but distinct and separate from Asanga yoga. If you look at the screenshots, you will see that this is simply not the case. In this particular case, the Encinitas Unified School District has not even bothered changing the terminology in the official curriculum. So, thus saith the judge, the district version of yoga is distinct and separate from Asanga yoga. But wait, there's more! As the district implemented the program with a $500,000 grant from the Joie Foundation, which does what? Promotes Asanga yoga. Now, note the bullying nature of Judge John Mayer's statement. A reasonable student would not objectively perceive that Encinitas School District yoga does advance or promote religion, he said. Get it? If you objectively perceive that Encinitas School District yoga does advance and promote religion, then you are not a reasonable student. Judge John Mayer's arrogance is simply stunning. Stephen and Jennifer Sedlock rightly noted, there's a consistent anti-Christian bias in these cases, and a pro-Eastern or strange religion bias. As Ravi Zacharias noted, we are living in a time when sensibilities are at the surface, often vented with cutting words. Philosophically, you can believe anything as long as you do not claim it to be true. Morally, you can practice anything so long as you do not claim it is a better way. Religiously, you can hold to anything so long as you do not bring Jesus Christ into it. If a spiritual idea is Eastern, it is granted critical immunity. If Western, it is thoroughly criticized. As aforementioned, this issue is heavy with watering down in order to fool. Thus, it is reported that pertaining to a lawsuit, the plaintiffs objected to 8-limbed tree posters with Sanskrit characters that they said were derived from Hindu beliefs, as well as to the use of the Namaste greeting in class and several yoga poses said to represent worship of Hindu deities. Note the retort. By the start of the 2012-2013 school year, the Sanskrit and Namaste had been eliminated from the program and poses had been renamed with quote-unquote kid-friendly descriptions. Pose is now called gorilla, turtle, peacock, big toe, telephone, and other terms, according to testimony. The lotus pose, for example, is called crisscross, applesauce in Encinitas schools. You see, they are doing the exact same things from the exact same roots, but just changing the terminology. So what is wrong with doing that? Well, besides purposely fooling the public so as to break the law? Well, the plaintiff's expert professor of religious studies, Candy Gunther Brown, testified that yoga practice indoctrinates Hindu religious practices whether the individual knows it or not. Interestingly, Professor Brown, quote, cited research suggesting yoga practice changes the user's brain and thoughts. And if you read what the school district has to say, the very purpose for them wanting yoga in taxpayer-funded public schools is for the specific purpose of changing the user's brains and thoughts. They place a happy face on the explanation, but what they seek is for children to relax and be calm, which they claim is what yoga does. Well, what they will get is children who are placed into meditative hypersuggestibility as their brain waves drop off, and they are in an atmosphere of being a captive audience who suspends disbelief and accepts that which the yogi teacher tells them. Below, I'll also post links to relevant books and videos on this subject.
It's the desert air that does it.
Does what?
Dries out your brain juice so you can't think straight no more.
I feel for me and my gift, it is very important to always keep myself grounded. I'm excited to align my chakras. So today I'm going to yoga with my sister-in-law, Corinda.
Allowing the hands to come to a prayer at the center of the chest.
How to handle a fart in yoga class.
I'm thinking this is right up my alley. Relaxing, calm, cool, collected.
If you'd like to come into your Kundalini.
Oh.
And then maybe you have a chin stand.
Who's doing that in this class? The instructor starts sticking her legs up and around her shoulder, her head.
Start to press up into the pose. From here, if you have a headstand practice, feel free to drop the head down to the mat.
It happens to almost every yoga practitioner at some point. You're contorting yourself into a pose when you let one rip. Here's what to do next, and how to help prevent future flatulence.
Mat. Maybe you step the feet together to come to Bird of Paradise.
Maybe. My arm was over here, my leg's over here, and all I know is now my hip hurts.
I pulled my leg hurts.
I'm like, whoa! Is this a yoga class or contortionist?
We're connecting to our core so that we can find the deep balance that lies within us. We are connecting to that place so that we can find a deep inner strength.
You will need preemptive farts, a poker face, a cough, sneeze, or loud exhale, a scapegoat, and the wind-relieving pose. Optional, a class that allows dogs.
Strength. So I'll just demonstrate one time.
I don't know if this class is for me.
How come?
Because when you tell me all those things and to relax and connect, I'm a medium, so I immediately go to the other side.
Are you experiencing something right now?
I'm experiencing a lot of things right now. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your class, but do you connect with like a teacher or someone that taught you that passed away? I don't know what that means.
Oh my gosh.
Step 1. Before yoga class, do a few preemptive farts by practicing poses that tend to stimulate them, like extended knee to nose and locust.
I have like a mala, which is like a spiritual necklace for meditation that has moonstones in it.
Step 2. Didn't get all the gas out? If one escapes during class, simply ignore it. Passing gas is extremely common with yoga. In fact, odds are at least one other person will toot before the class is over, and you can be assured most everyone else is trying to suppress one.
Do you connect with the Native American Indians?
Oh my God.
All of a sudden I go, I am not even looking, and I heard all the drumming.
My sister and I, our company's name is Miyakota, means power of the moon in Native American.
Step 3. If you react fast enough, try covering it up with a hacking cough, a vigorous sneeze, or a loud exhale.
I was absolutely amazed when she brought up everything about the Native Americans, because that's been a huge part of my life. It was something that nobody could have ever known about.
Step 4. Throw the person nearest you under the bus by pretending the fart came from them. This can easily be achieved by turning to them and saying loudly, "Don't worry about it, it happens to everyone."
Okay, now you're gonna go all the way over.
No, I'm not. Oh.
Babe, you usually...
Okay, alright.
Step 5. If flatulence is a problem outside yoga class as well, practice the wind-relieving pose in private, designed to do exactly what it says. Then give some thought as to whether or not fitness classes in enclosed spaces are right for you.
My yoga has helped me to recenter my mind, and, you know, with another good meal in me, I'm ready for tomorrow.
Nice. Nice. And that happens from time to time, too. Totally happens. But it's all about releasing, right?
I don't understand. It's been like this for like the last few weeks.
That's great.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Sorry, I totally broke the energy.
Did you know? The average person farts about 14 times a day.
I was absolutely amazed.